Hello viewers, it's Ultimate Spy 53 here, and welcome to Reviewed number 42. And I'm going to be reviewing Doctor Who, The Night of the Doctor, and The Time of the Doctor. So, The Night of the Doctor and The Time of the Doctor. Well, first off, let's start with The Night of the Doctor. What did I think of it? It was really interesting. It was the first time we actually get to see the Eighth Doctor, since the 1996 TV movie. That was like his first appearance, and that was actually supposed to be like a movie that would spawn a new series of Doctor Who, but it never actually happened. And I thought it was really good. The basic idea is it's really short minisode, with the Eighth Doctor now in his travel-worn costume, and shorter hair, because I guess Paul McGann decided to cut his head, and so the Eighth Doctor did too. I don't know. But basically he tries to rescue this woman on the ship, and she doesn't trust him because he's a Time Lord, and then he just ends up getting shut down back onto Khan, which is apparently a planet that the Doctor has visited before. Because he says like, I'm back on Khan again. So this is the first time we get to see. This is actually the only other time we get to see the Eighth Doctor in an appearance on the television, and so this is his second and final appearance. There's also his regeneration. We never actually got a regeneration. I've seen some fan edits of people who did like regeneration and stuff, like what if thing, but this is the first time I actually get to see the Eighth Doctor regenerate. And it was truly magnificent. His costume is it's an alternate variant of his movie costume. The big overcoat and the buttons and the little scarf thingy, whatever you call it, and the pocket watch. It's a variant of that. When I mean that, it's all kind of torn apart and not torn apart, skewed everywhere, and not very tidy. It's the same kind of costume, but it's a little different. And so yeah, it's a really amazing episode. Actually, the Sisterhood of Khan makes an appearance for the first time since the 70s, actually. This is the Fourth Doctor's era. That was the last time they appeared, and this is the first time that they appear since then. So it's really magnificent. Actually, I believe this episode is a sequel to that last episode. Technically, in terms of the people who are there listed have gone. That's the first time we see them since then. It's pretty cool that we actually get to see that. And then of course we have the Eighth Doctor being silly. Because what I thought about, but the really fun part about this little episode was when the Eighth Doctor thinks that 4 minutes is ages. So the mother of the Sisterhood, she says we restored your life, but you have a little under 4 minutes, and he's like, 4 minutes? That's ages. What if I get bored and need television, couple of books, and anyone to bring me knitting, anyone for chess, someone to bring me knitting. That was so funny. It's it just proves to you that the Eighth Doctor can be really funny. Not that he was funny, I guess, in the movie, but this is pure comedy from a Doctor. He thinks that 4 minutes is a long time. I don't say that's not the right thing to say, but that doesn't seem right. 4 minutes can be a while, but it's not that long. Seriously, he thinks it's 4 minutes, that's ages. He thinks it's that long time. I mean, seriously, it's just ridiculous that he thinks that. But overall, it was pretty good. It was the first time we actually see him since the movie, and it's obviously changed. The same actor, um, just aged about, I don't know, let's see, 10, 17 years. Yeah, 17 years since the movie came out in '96 and the special was released in 2013. It's prequel to the Day of the Doctor. Um, and I didn't talk about this last week because we were only focusing on that episode. This is a prequel to the Day of the Doctor because it kind of shows that John at the end. So basically, he's injured. He gets the elixir of life to restore him, and he actually it's actually the first time we get to see the option of a man or woman, which is really interesting. Because that's like we obviously know that about Missy in the new series of 12th Doctor series, but we get to he actually decides he actually gets to decide the outcome of his regeneration because past incarnations he didn't get that chance. Actually complained about his new body, which I've seen the parts where he did that. But honestly, the episode itself was really well written. It was really well done. The acting was really good. I liked the call out of names. I mean, I haven't listened to the audio series because I'm behind on the classic series. I need to catch up. But honestly, it was pretty cool that he kind of called back to past series. Actually, I looked at the. I think I looked at the. I listened to some podcasts about the Eighth Doctor, and it was about and one of the names, one of the elder dramas mentioned a companion that the Eighth Doctor mentioned in this episode. I think it was like Tanzel, Molly, whatever. I can't remember. Something like that. I can't remember. I think Molly was one of the companions of the Eighth Doctor in the audio series. Because that was the only time that Paul McGann did the Doctor outside of TV. But honestly, it was really well done. I like how he drinks the potion and usually we don't really get to see him change. We just get to see him go, oh, fuck that, like his face goes out of the way, and then suddenly we see a bright light, and then he gets a new one, and then he the War Doctor getting the belt of I think bolts. I think it's bolts. Gets the bolts and then go like this, and then of course the one part that I didn't really understand about the episode at the end of the episode was when we hear John Hurt's voice, and then we see his reflection in the mirror. Well, first we don't even hear his name. We don't actually see him speak. We just see his face, and it's what looks like be a younger John Hurt. It's John Hurt, but it's a younger version of him without the beard, and that's confusing. That doesn't make sense. Kind of looks like Ollivander in a way, a little bit. But honestly, I didn't have a problem with it. I just thought it was weird that he doesn't have a beard in this episode, and then we fast forward to the Doctor, he has a beard now. I mean, there must be an explanation for it. I don't really know. But overall, it was pretty good. I love the fact we get to see the original TARDIS, the one used by Tennant. We don't get to see the interior because I don't know how they would explain that, because I don't know what they did with the old set, with the set they used for the TV movie. I don't know if they did with the set. I don't know how they would explain that if they did. I'm kind of glad they didn't do that because it would be really weird. Although I will say they did that the exterior they used as the prop for the TARDIS is not the same prop. It is not the same. They didn't bring back the old set or the old prop they used for the police box back then in the movie. They didn't bring that back. I mean, I wasn't disappointed. I'm like, oh, it's the 10th Doctor's TARDIS, and then it's like, oh, this is not the 8th Doctor's TARDIS. I mean, I'm guessing it's supposed to be like a mix between the 8th Doctor's and the 9th Doctor's TARDIS, which is what explained. I guess he changed it, so because he changed his costume a little bit and his hair. So I guess it makes sense, but I still would have liked that, that old classic era stuff. His screwdriver is still the same, which is really, really good. But overall, this episode was really well done. We get to see a lot of classic stuff. We get to see the System of Kong. We haven't seen this since the 70s, in the Tom Baker era. And we get to see we get to see Paul McGann back in the role of the Eighth Doctor, which was fantastic. Um, Honestly, I'd say this miniseries was fantastic. It was really well made. I'm glad it was finally made. And my rating for it, I'd say it's 9 out of 10. Why? Because I wasn't a fan of the costume. I wish they brought back the costume and they just put a wig on him, because it would be more the Eighth Doctor. I just didn't like that, and I wish we at least seen a glimpse of the TARDIS, or at least some kind of new version of the TARDIS. I did like how he noted to the past companions and the woman he met on the ship. But honestly, it was pretty good. I love the fact we have Paul McGann coming back for a new series, or a new little episode. He did hit on a new series, but I don't. The people wanting him having a new series. I want a new series of just about the Eighth Doctor. That would be fantastic. Even if it's like only a few episodes. Even if it's like 5 episodes, five 45-minute episodes. That would be fantastic. But yeah, I'd love to make that happen. So all I could say about the Night of the Doctor, it was pretty well made. I was really glad to have the Doctor back and finally get the answer to where his regeneration is, because we never actually got his regeneration. I'm really happy about that. So yeah, and pure comedy about that. Pure comedy. I love that scene where he's talking about forming his ages. That was perfect. So yeah, and the regeneration itself was pretty good. Very different. Of course, it's similar to era, but it was fine. I thought it was really well done. So the Night of the Doctor. This is a really fantastic episode. This is actually the final Christmas special of the 11th Doctor. So Matt Smith regenerated in this episode, and actually, what can I say about this episode? I didn't like it as much. I thought the concept of him turning into the regeneration was a bit weird. I wasn't a fan of the concept of regeneration. He goes to Trenzalore. He fights all these enemies that come to the planet. He does it until he's like he defends this planet for hundreds of years until he's like dying old age, because I guess the idea is that he's dying because he's been defending Trenzalore for hundreds of years from alien incursions, and because of that he's dying. He's like about to die. So that's the idea. He defends the planet for hundreds of years, and and in doing so he's about to die. I didn't hate the concept. I just didn't like it as much. We do see Clara. We see the first glimpse of Clara's family, and that was pretty fun. We get to see some slapstick humor. The son of screwdriver can't cook turkey. I mean, how could it? But it was pretty funny. We also get to Clara being emergency with my boyfriend. That was funny. We also get to see a Cyberman that the Doctor has disassembled into a one head called Handles. And that was pretty fun to see him. Use a Cyberman as a friend. But overall, in terms of the episode, I didn't hate it, but it was also not the best. It was good. It was good, but I wasn't that impressed with the writing of this episode in terms of like him generating. I didn't like it. But I mean, when it came to him dying of old age, and then the Clara sending the Time Lords a message like saying help him change the future, and then they give him a new cycle of regenerations, which is a new one for him. It's like, oh, we thought the 11th Doctor was gonna die at the end. We thought he was just gonna run out of regenerations, because there was a point in the episode where 11 says, I'm all out of regenerations. This is my last one. I'm on 13. You know about the War Doctor, the old man, and then and then and he talks about 10 about having another Doctor, another incarnation. It was having problems at the time or whatever like that. I can't remember exactly. It mentioned the Mary Crisis Doctor, so that's why it's on his 13th life. And it was pretty fun how he kind of knocked back to old incarnations. It's like this is my last life. After this, I'm dead. I can't regenerate anymore. And then Stephen Moffat decided to write in, the Time Lord's given him a cycle of regenerations. And then what happened is when he was like when he's like dying of old age, like he's on the brink of death, he's given the new cycle, and then he uses his regeneration energy to blow up Dalek ships. I didn't hate that. That was pretty clever, but I didn't. It was okay. It was a very different, writing style. Moffat decides to do it this, and I didn't. I don't like everything that Moffat does. Some of the writing is a little weird, but this writing was it wasn't bad. It wasn't. It just was unusual. I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of it. I wouldn't say. Yeah, I wouldn't say I was a fan of it. The fact that he uses his regeneration energy to blow up Dalek ships, that was just weird. Honestly, it was odd. And then of course, like that's his part. That's like his long regeneration. I mean, 10 had a long generation. Like he, 10 with him, he decided to, to let hold in the regeneration and say goodbye to his friends. But for 11, he decides to let it all out, and then like it takes a long time to situate to a new body, and then later he in the TARDIS, and he has all his clothes out, and then he has like things like fish fingers custard. He uses that like a little memory, and then we see a young Emily Pond, and then we see a grown Amy. And this time, because it was Karen Gillan, who plays Amy in Doctor Who, was filming Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. I'm saying Volume 2. Volume 1. Well, because the new one's coming out. That's why I'm mentioning the second one. But she was filming the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and because of that, she was she had a shaved head, so she had to wear a wig, and so the hair isn't actually real. It's fake, and she also has black painted nails. I was confused about that. Like, I mean, the only time I've ever seen Amy with painted nails is the 11th Hour when she was wearing red nail polish, but that was it. Very interesting. I mean, her hair was a bit different. It was kind of like had some tints in it, but overall not bad. I love the end of the episode with Amy saying goodbye to 11. She was like, "Raggedy Man, goodbye." That was emotional. Also, the 11th Doctor's speech was fantastic. I mean, before that was also when Clara's like, you are young again, because he was like old, and somehow the regeneration cycle restored him to youth. And then the sad part is when he makes his long speech like, I will always remember when the Doctor was me. It's okay, you gotta keep moving it. That's because actually I can't remember how it goes. But it's this long speech. It's beautiful speech. It's this amazing speech that talks about, and then the end of it is where he takes out his bow tie, and then it drops to the floor, and then he closes his eyes. He's like, "I'm about to die," and then Chloe's like, "No, please don't change." And he's like, "Okay, that's where I'm gonna stop right there, because I didn't like that. I thought it was weird. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I just didn't like it. It's when the 11th Doctor, it's when he changes that I didn't like it. He went back and like he goes like this for like 1 second, and then the moment he does that, we see 12's face. We see 12's face go out of the thing and then come back and then come out. I would have liked them to do a long regeneration energy type thing where it's like that we've seen from with 9 and 10, and of course 10 Meta Crisis Doctor. I didn't like how they did it. It was too fast. It was too abrupt. It's like goodbye. What? That was weird. It's like when I first saw on Christmas Day, when I first saw the episode, I was shocked. I'm like, whoa, that was fast. I didn't expect that. That was just it was too abrupt. I just felt it was too fast. Like, I would have expected to see a little longer. I mean, I saw a fan edit of someone who made it longer, but I still wouldn't. I didn't like it. I didn't like the idea of him doing it that fast. I did find out that the little energy flowing from his hands, that's actually his memories of his past inclinations. Apparently, that's how I was told. And then when he comes out, this was great. This was fantastic. When he's like, when he's examining Clara with these attack eyebrows, like that. He's like looking at Clara, and then suddenly the TARDIS jerks around, and he's like, you know, he's like, kidneys. I've got new kidneys. I don't like the color. And then Scar's like, you got your kidneys. It's like, how can 12 think that how can 12 know his kidneys are different color? That doesn't make sense. But I thought it was really, I mean, first time I saw 12, I'm like, wow, that was great. He's a fantastic character. I mean, I don't hate 12, but when I first saw him, he was just weird. Like, I mean, first of all, I didn't like the regeneration. This was one of the weakest ones I've seen. I mean, I didn't like it. It just didn't appeal to me very much. I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it. It was just weird. I mean, it was really interesting because this episode was one of the weirdest regeneration stories. And you know how the Doctor, like I said before, the Doctor defends the entire planet from alien threats for hundreds of years, and it's caused him to age, and then the Time Lord send him another cycle of regeneration. Suddenly they just said, oh, okay, well, let's just send the Doctor another regeneration cycle. It's just like, that was it. That's it. You're just gonna. It's like, oh, the Doctor's failing. Help me. It's like, okay, here you go. Here's another regeneration cycle. It's like, okay. That's why Moffat is one of those weird writers. He creates stories that are just so weird. Kind of like last week when me and my mom were reviewing The Day of the Doctor. She talked about the fact that The Day of the Doctor, that writing was weird. Same thing with this one. The time of the Doctor. I mean, The Night of the Doctor, that writing was fine. It was perfect. But this one, it was just odd. It's like, oh, well, the Doctor, you know, he's dying. And it's like, he's out of regenerations. He's out of regenerations. It's like, and then it's like Clara goes, it's like, please help him change the future. It's like, okay, here you go. Here's another regeneration cycle. It's like, okay, well, I mean, it worked, but it was just like weird. I mean, I think the one thing I didn't like about the episode was the fact that he uses his regeneration energy to blast out the Dalek ships. I mean, it was cool, but it was just weird. It's like, okay, well then. See, I didn't really like this episode. I mean, it was a really sad episode because, I mean, the 10th Doctor of Generations, you know, ended. That was sad, but this one was like, it was emotional. It had some moments in it, and you know, seeing Amy again for the first time since then, and hearing his speech, you know, I will always remember when the Doctor was me. You know, you just gotta keep moving because that's so you can remember who everyone you used to be. I think it was that. I can't actually remember. I put the link in the description for you about the 11th Doctor's regeneration speech, so you can. No, I can't remember. I can't actually remember. If you know it, then post in the comments. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna put a comment. Put a link in the description. So yeah, that's all I can say about the Time of the Doctor. Honestly, it was good. Great companion of Handel's. He was a fascinating character. Yeah, I didn't hate it. I just the writing was different. It was in the writing I liked. It was a really confusing concept to me. I mean, I think I have the idea, but it was different. I mean, there are some Doctor Who stories that I like, and some Doctor Who stories I don't like, and this was one of those where I just like, okay. I just hope the next regeneration story is better, and you know, it flows better. And you know, it wasn't bad. I just didn't like it as much. So yeah. Also, one thing to note about this episode is that Matt Smith, he shaved his head before. I think it was during Doctor Who shooting. So they used a wig instead. I think it was before. I think it was before he went to Time of the Doctor. He shaved his head, and I think he used a wig. And he had actually joked about a wig. I think it was actually real, but it was a joke. But it was a joke on his real life. I don't actually know. It had something to do with that, but it was pretty fun. Overall, I gave this episode a 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 because it was weak. The story was just weird. I didn't like it as much. I mean, not that the Doctor wasn't weak too, but this was just. I mean, it was stronger, but it was still weak. It was stronger than the Day of the Doctor, but it was still weak. So that's all I can say. So yeah, I think that comes to the end of this review. thank you for watching this episode. If you liked it, and please make sure to give that thumbs up button a like, and subscribe to the channel for more episodes. And I will see you next time for the next one. Alright, see ya.